Welcome to the video, guys. It seems every day there are more stories about the boats that keep floating over from France, which I have called the government out for many times already and will continue to do so, of course with a caveat that is the EU and the laws surrounding it, which makes it a bit of a pain in the arse, but not impossible for them to stop this. A real issue, it seems though, is the French government Coast Guard and their immigration service, which is essentially doing nothing to stop these boats from coming over here, and even now have the audacity to try and claim they can't do anything about it because of maritime law, which is just laughable, as we will get into, because we had this article yesterday from the BBC talking about how 8 more boats attempt to cross to the UK, which it shouldn't say attempt, it should say made it, because obviously, as we can see in the picture there, they were all picked up, it would seem. Now, before we go through this and the Daily Mail article we're going to look at, which talks about the French and the bullshit they're trying to pull, claiming that maritime law prevents them from doing anything, remember, the daily livestream has moved over to Twitch, so if you want to join me over there to chat in real time, the link will be down in the video description, along with the channel's other social media links. But back to the boats floating over here and the BBC article. 8 boats have been stopped in the Channel and 120 migrants brought to the UK, the Home Office has said. Which completely shits on that one here. 8 boats attempt crossing to the UK when it says just after it that they actually made it and were brought over here by obviously the Home Office, Border Farce and the shit show that is the government. Border Force intercepted 3 boats in the early hours and later encountered a further 5, a government spokesman said. One vessel was carrying 36 people, including 26 men and 10 women. Meanwhile, French authorities said they rescued a further 38 migrants on Tuesday, including 3 found clinging to a buoy off Calais. 4 migrants were also found on board a kayak north of Calais, French officials added. And we obviously know about Thursday's record 202 crossings, we covered that the other day in a video. Now, the real peach of these stories from yesterday, because obviously it's still a little bit early for anything to have come out today. Usually we get this information much later than this one was achieved, because obviously this had Good Morning Britain reporters doing it, so it was all before 8 AM in the morning generally. But it shows perfectly the absolute bullshit of the French, and of course something that we know could well happen. Once Brexit is finalised, it may well stop these dinghy crossings if the government actually takes a tough stance. Obviously, given what we've seen, that's a big fucking if, but it is certainly possible that they might. Just don't bet your house on it, guys, that is all I would say. But the Daily Mail article headlines, GMB reporter Jonathan Swain pursues 10 migrants as they cross channel in small dinghy, as experts warn they are being told to cross now before Brexit is finalised. So no attempt to intercept it or turn it round to France, because obviously we know the French haven't been doing that at all. French officials claim they are unable to lawfully intercept boats in the Channel under maritime law, prompting anger from Home Secretary Priti Patel. Which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. She is being ragged over by the public at the moment for her piss poor attempts at actually stopping this. But I feel I do need to say the French's claim that they can't do anything under maritime law is a complete and utter load of bollocks. You have to remember that as soon as these people jump in these boats and try to make the trip across the Channel, they are criminals at the end of the day. That law supersedes the maritime law. They can be arrested by the French Coast Guard or the police. Otherwise, anytime you break the law in a given country, all you need to do is jump in the sea and start swimming to the nearest country and you're protected by maritime law, especially if you're in a small boat, it would seem. That is just complete and utter bollocks, I'm sorry to say. And here is obviously the picture of Good Morning Britain chasing after this little boat. The extraordinary incident happened on Good Morning Britain this morning when Jonathan Swain was reporting from the Channel on migrant crossings. It's not really extraordinary, it's been done how many times before. Nigel Farage, I think, was the first one to do it. The mainstream media are just getting on the bandwagon now because obviously they've got nothing else to jump on. More than 3,500 people have crossed the Channel so far this year, including 202 last Thursday, as we already know. That more than 3,000 has got to be a few weeks old now. It's probably more like 5,000 if you ask me. And then you're not factoring in the ones that we don't get told about, or even the ones that they don't even know about, who make it over and just don't make it onto the news or even into the eyes of the Home Office or Border Force. As the camera panned towards the boat, Mr. Swain said, "I just want to show you something that's happening right now. This is symptomatic of the problem. We've just zoomed the camera in, and that is the French Coast Guard you can see just in the distance. We are not allowed to get any closer. There is an exclusion zone around. What they are doing, pan the camera around to the left, in the distance is a UK Border Force boat called Seeker that is now waiting for the migrant boat to be dropped off effectively by the French Coast Guard. Then the UK Border Force will take those migrants back to Dover, which obviously we know because Nigel Farage pointed this out, a month or so ago now. It's hardly new information to us, but obviously ITV and Good Morning Britain are finally jumping on the bandwagon because they got nothing else to virtue signal about since the BLM bullshit is starting to die out. The reporter shouted over to the men, "We don't give a flying fuck about that, let's be honest." Mr. Swain told GMB viewers there are strict rules here, we can't intervene at this stage, we're going to keep an eye on this, and if they get into further distress then we have to perhaps intervene. He later said it was the 445th boat they had overheard on the radio of migrants who have made the crossing this morning. Obviously we now know it was 8 in total, the BBC reported on that in the article we just looked at. Migrants are being told by people smugglers it's now or never to cross the channel because the UK borders will close next year when it's finally out of the EU. It is claimed. Yeah, it is claimed because there is no guarantee it will be. The government has hardly been tough on immigration, and especially illegal immigration like this, let's be honest here. This has fueled a rise in illegal crossings, with desperate people paying up to £6,000 a time to join one of the risky voyages. Which, yes, I expect it has kind of fueled the rise, but what's also fueled the rise is the fact that they get picked up halfway, guaranteeing them safe passage across the channel. Lucy Morton, professional officer at the Immigration Services Union, told The Times, "We know people smugglers are telling migrants that once Britain leaves the EU, this will stop," which obviously it better, though like I've said, I wouldn't put your house on it, that is for sure. This is used by them to gee up people to make the journey in case they miss out. Of course, it is not true, which obviously we know. They are just saying it to encourage people to get over now, which actually proves the government really needs to start taking a seriously hard line on this, though like I said they probably won't, and after Brexit it is literally going to be all on them, so every time one of these boats lands here or gets brought back it's going to be on the government's head and we will remember it. Her warning came as Border Force Director Tony Smith said crossings are approaching crisis levels and are on the brink of repeating the asylum crisis of the early 2000s, which I covered in a video the other day and I'm not going to get into again here. It says here, and something we have known for I don't know how long and been screaming about many times on the channel and you guys in the comments. EU treaties set out that asylum should be claimed in the first safe country reached by a migrant, in this case France or any of the other ones that they actually entered through. Meaning none of them are asylum seekers at the end of the day, they're all illegal immigrants and don't deserve to be claiming asylum here or even in France it would seem, so they should just be sent back. The French people shouldn't have to deal with them either. That is of course no thanks to the European Union, as we all know. Current numbers are skyrocketing despite Home Secretary Priti Patel's promise made last October that she would virtually eliminate crossings by now, which obviously we have called her out for many times, and I have even nicknamed her Pretty Piss Poor Patel for that, and of course the grooming gang scandal. Last month the Mail reported how the Royal Navy has been testing the use of nets to stop illegal migrant boats in the channel. Miss Patel said she wants stronger enforcement on the other side of the channel and was working to persuade the French government to show willing and allow migrant boats to be turned back, which is obviously what I was alluding to earlier when I said it's not so easy for the government to actually take action on this, though they could do a hell of a lot more than they currently are. She continued, "I've had some very, I think it's fair to say, difficult discussions with my French counterpart, even looking at interceptions at sea, because currently the French authorities are not intercepting boats at sea," Miss Patel told MPs. "A lot of this is governed by maritime laws and the French authorities' interpretations of what they can and can't do at sea, which once again I will say has to be bollocks because these people have broken the law. You can obviously arrest people at sea if they are criminals, otherwise criminals would just be floating around everywhere, avoiding every country's law enforcement, especially the French." Home Office officials hope they can strike a deal with the new French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin appointed last month, which probably they won't because the French are a bunch of snivelling shitweasels it would seem. Last weekend a migrant was airlifted to hospital suffering from hypothermia after reaching Britain on a small boat, so not only will his asylum claim and the rest of it cost us fucking countless thousands, but airlifting him into hospital and treating him there is also going to cost us many more thousands. What an absolute shit show this country is. The government really needs to put a stop to that fucking bullshit. bullshit. Well, I think it's safe to say the French really are a bunch of snivelling shit weasels running around screaming a load of bullshit about maritime law, which obviously has to be wrong. Now, like I've said before, the government currently are getting a slight pass because obviously what is going on with us still being in the European Union. They don't get a full pass for it because at the end of the day, I've said it many times, they could be doing a hell of a lot more and they simply ain't. But we are hearing more and more that the French are actively allowing this to happen, and it would seem talking a load of bullshit to try and justify why they are doing nothing. I've said it before in the video, we need to start fining France £1 million for every single one of these migrants that lands on our beaches or has to be picked up by the border fast. Maybe then they will actually deport some of these asylum seekers who have travelled through multiple safe countries to get to theirs so they can get into the UK. They are no longer asylum seekers, they are all criminal migrants at the end of the day.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.